Time to talk a bit of royal news, and our favourite person to do that with is the wonderful Angela Levin. She, of course, wrote the book literally about Harry and Camilla, but she's so much more than that. She joins us now from England as the seasons start to change. How are you, Rockstar?
Fine, thank you. Thank goodness. Yes. How are you?
Doing my best. Now, normally I would be more than happy with anyone who wants to turn up to a Formula One event, but I must say, Prince Harry, who of course is oh so woke and oh so, climate conscious, I was surprised that he was there in big old Texas cheering on, last time, petrol-powered cars.
Yes, he's awful, isn't he? I mean, I think that, in 2019, he spent hours and hours doing this Travalyst, this whole new way of travelling, that you'd be careful where you went, you wouldn't go somewhere where you could spoil it. And he spent hours and hours doing it and, lecturing all of us that we had to do this. And now he's got $2,000 for it. He has to go only in private planes, like he did when he left New York on this mental health day, and he was going on holiday in the Caribbean. He could have jumped on a plane, it wouldn't have been too bad, it's not far, but he insisted on a private plane. And then he goes off to watch the football and the motor cars whizzing round. And I mean, he's just such a hypocrite. And I don't see why the company now should keep him as a patron. You can't have a patron who's doing absolutely the opposite, what he's pretending that everybody else should do. It just doesn't work, does it? It just doesn't work.
But didn't you know, Angela, in 2023, it's do as I say, not do as I do.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, for the occasional thing, okay, but this is just fun, and this is just guzzling up the things he says we mustn't even touch, and it's a very bad example, isn't it? And how, even if he wants people to do that, you have to set some sort of example, and he does the opposite because he's $2,000. He's got very, very superior. Actually, it's ironic because he's never been very bright. And he's now lecturing people in a way that hits way above his place, actually. And he just does it because he thinks he's so important now. It's just awful.
But you're right, which is that it's up to the company about who represents. I mean, I'm not entirely sure there's much value in Harry being the face of anything, but if he's the face of a company that's all about doing the opposite of what he actually does, how does he hold on to that gig? He must know someone.
Yeah, well, it's just the name, isn't it? Prince Harry, that's what it is. And as long as he can hang on to that, he's got some sort of thing that people like to have. But it is ridiculous, and they should be serious about it and say, look, Harry, it's fine, you've been great, but really we want someone who doesn't go whizzing around the world in private jets and doesn't go whizzing all over the place to watch car racing. It's just not on. Sorry, love. Off you go.
Now, you've got some insight about a friend of Queen Elizabeth and her opinion that Meghan really thought that it was all like a film princess rather than the realities, that being part of the royal family is, for some, quite a slog.
Yes, she would go round in a golden car or a carriage, and that's what she thought it would be. She would be just as if she was starring in a film all the time. Now, I don't believe this, actually, because Harry, who I spent a lot of time with, as you know, told me that he spent a lot of time telling her what she should do, what was important, what wasn't so important, how her life would be. And so I'm not sure that this is actually true, but also she decided that the royal family was really like a company, like an office, and she started asking for money. She felt it was very bad when she came to Australia, when she was just pregnant, if you remember, and she said that she thought she should be paid for every engagement that she did. So she was thinking of it like you do in a company, but she also felt that when she felt she was suicidal, or allegedly suicidal, she went to HR and they said to her, look, we can't help you because we only do staff. And he said, well, you've got to help me because nobody would do it. And they said, look, we really can't. Of course they couldn't. They could do the cooks and the aides and the things like that. What she didn't do was to go to the royal family or say to Harry, look, help me because I feel very bad. She didn't do that. She left it sort of lingering. And she didn't ask the whole, there's loads of doctors who are at the palace. That's where there's all sorts. No, she didn't go there. As a mother, a pretend mother in her late 30s, she would have seen the osteopath. She would have seen a gynecologist every 2 or 3 weeks. And she could have said to him, look, I'm feeling depressed. A lot of women in their, when they're pregnant, they feel very uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. She could have done that. She didn't do that. Harry said he felt he didn't know what to say, so he didn't do anything. But he'd had someone to help him when he felt very low. So the whole thing, I think, is a mess, isn't it? I mean, she didn't think of it as a fairy princess. She thought of it as a way of making money and getting help in a very peculiar way.
Well, again, it always sort of speaks to this idea that, that they were long-suffering and they had no help. Well, part of their problem seems to be who they were complaining to. As you say, there's a medical professional here who you assume some sort of basic skill meant that they were able to see that somebody was unhappy, yet they didn't avail themselves of it. They seemingly kept it to themselves until they could turn it into cash.
Yes, I think they used it very much as one of their many complaints. But I mean, if she did feel bad, and women do feel very uncomfortable and things, why didn't she just get help properly herself? Or she could say, to Harry, look, come with me and let's talk to the specialist and see, but to actually say they wouldn't help her, that was true, but they couldn't help her because they just helped the staff. They couldn't do royals. It's just not a possibility. So I think it was really used for her pleasure, really, strangely said.
Now, one would believe that when you can become the King of England, you could have cake, any type of cake, all day, every day, because that's one of the joys of being a monarch. But no, King Charles, he keeps one cake and he likes to have it for as long as he physically can.
It's wonderful, isn't it? It's absolutely hilarious. This is based on the fact that it's his first major personal project about dealing with waste. His birthday's in the 14th of November, and he wants it sort of coronation and to do with his birthday of not having wasted food. And that's obviously very good. And he uses sort of strange wine and whey from cheese for his riding one of his cars. But the cake business, he and his wife, Camilla, love eating cake. They enjoy cake. And but they won't stop after 1 or 2 slices. They go through the whole week eating up a cake because he can't bear anything that's left over. I think that's very extraordinary. I mean, cake is very nice, but it starts to get a bit stale, and they can afford another one. But that's not on. I'm sure they could use it in another way somehow. Even the birds would like it. But it does seem strange. But this is his new important thing that he wants to do. I think trying to save food or to use it properly when people don't actually want to eat it is a very good idea, and I think it would be very popular. It's like not having plastic or any of those things. But I think for himself, he's the King of England, isn't he? And he could actually nibble a bit from another cake.
Well, correct. Or perhaps he could make a royal decree: cupcakes only. I do not want tiered cakes, just one cupcake and that'll do.
That's the other thing, isn't it? It could have individual small cakes that they could have. But I suppose, the chef likes to make a very good, delicious looking cake. His mother liked a different sort of cake. She liked a sort of chocolate cake. He liked a cake, I think, something with wine in. Yeah, very interesting. But, I mean, odd.
Now, you know that you are well, how do I say this? You've made it when they start to make fun of you, but when they start to make fun of you in Family Guy, the American TV show, well, you know that you're not making it the way that you had planned.
That's fine, I'll go it alone, just like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
It is so funny. I mean, it's like the session version of South Park treatment, isn't it, really? And there they are, sitting by a pool, and there is an aged butler with no hair, but a dinner jacket on, and he comes in up to Harry and he says, we've got this, sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what. And so Harry goes in a rather English way, put it with all the other stuff. And he's lying there having a fizzy drink of some sort. And next to him is Meghan in a bikini, looking perfectly okay. And she says, babe, it's time to do daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram. And you just roar with laughter because it's very funny. But I think Meghan will be absolutely furious. Harry couldn't care less, but he doesn't like her upset. But she goes mad because she can't understand why people don't realise that she's a global, wonderful leader for us all. And instead of which, people see right through her and make fun of her. But what's a funny one? I saw this, just let me look it up, that Lady Glencower said. She met John Kerry, who was one standing to be president, and she said to him quite recently, what do you think of Harry and Meghan? And he looked at her and he said, we all feel very, 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 three verys, very, very, very sorry for Harry. Let's leave it there. My goodness.
Oh,
my goodness.
Yes, all right. Well, that's a man who, by his own admissions, married up into the Hines family fortune. Yes, but he's the one who talks about that one of the horrible things about war isn't people dying, it's about the climate emissions. So if even he is starting to see what the issue may well be, well, he's in a world of trouble. Thank you so much, Angela. Lovely to talk to you. I'll talk to you again soon.
Nice to see you. Bye.